Today I'm going to show you how you can save money on your bucket list activities in Hawaii so that you and your family can do more on your next Hawaii vacation. So I wanted to do a price comparison between the retail pricing that you would find on the typical company website and Morale, Welfare, and Recs Ticket Office, or MWR. Military discounted rates are available to active duty, retirees, DoD civilians, reservists, and family members accompanied with a military ID. If you have any doubt about your eligibility, I do recommend that you give them a call. I decided for the price comparison, I was going to create an imaginary family of 4, 2 adults, a 6-year-old, and a 13-year-old. And so all the pricing is going to be for that imaginary family. Your mileage will vary depending on what your family looks like and what specials might be going on at the time, particularly on the retail side. They're really excited about this trip to Hawaii, and they have an expensive bucket list to prove it. They want to do a luau, go to the Polynesian Cultural Center, go whale watching, visit the Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor, and take a helicopter ride. And if you stay to the end, I'll show you how they save big money on their accommodations too. So let's dive in. For today's purposes, I'm going to be comparing the Hilton Hawaiian Village Luau to the Halikoa Luau for pricing. Right now, the Hilton Hawaiian has a free child's ticket with every adult ticket. It does have blackout dates and restrictions. The blackout dates right now are June 1st to August 14th. So if you're going this summer, you may not be able to take advantage of that special, but trying to get the best pricing to compare, I'm going to pick some dates in September so that we can take advantage of that. So we're going to pick the Golden Circle ticket seating, and we'll pick something in September. And as I mentioned before, we have 2 adults and 2 kids, a 13 and a 6-year-old. In order to trigger this free child ticket, you have to pay for a regular adult ticket. The military adult ticket does not trigger it. So we're going to need to have one of those parents as a regular adult, and that's going to trigger that free child ticket so that we'll get both one of the parents and our 6-year-old for the $185. Then we're also going to add 2 more military adults because presumably both the adult and the teenager have a military ID. So 2 there. So we have 4 tickets in total. With taxes and fees, your total is going to be $635.96. Now let's look at the Halikoa. So Halikoa pricing is $120 for adults. If you happen to be E1 to E6, either retired or active, that's going to reduce the price to $86. Youth, that 12 to 17, which would include our teenager, is $40, and a child ticket is $28. So the Halikoa pricing is going to be $308 based on these prices compared to the $635.96. So we've already saved $336 just on our luau. Now let's look at the Polynesian Cultural Center. I put in a September date, a mid-September date, and they have a number of packages available. I'm going to include the Gateway Buffet package, which is going to include the buffet dinner, but does not include the luau, because you've probably already been to a luau. Now, they do have a 10% off going right now, so let's take a look at what the pricing would be for our imaginary family. And we're going to have 3 adults because anybody 12 or older is considered an adult, and 1 child. And it does say down here to use the promo code early10 if we're ordering more than 10 days in advance, which we obviously would be. So let's take a look. For the moment, I don't much care where the seats are. We're just really looking at the price. This shows a subtotal of $621 for those 4 people, but that's not the final price because there are taxes to be included. So the final price for this family is going to be $559. If you want transportation from Waikiki, it is available at an extra cost. Now let's compare this Gateway Buffet package if you go through MWR. They have almost all of the packages that are available on the Polynesian Cultural Center website, except for the Super Ambassador Luau. This is $119 for adults and $118 for children 4 to 11. So that would be that one child in our scenario. So the grand total for that would be $475. One of the things you should take note of is that it appears there's about a $30 difference here on the website, which is significant enough when you're buying for 4 people. But on the Polynesian Cultural Center website, you are going to have to pay tax. Whereas when you purchase these through MWR, you don't. In fact, most of the time when you're purchasing tickets through MWR, you don't need to pay tax. So you end up having an additional savings aside from just that ticket price. So in this scenario, even with the discount at the Polynesian Cultural Center that we had for our early booking, we're still saving $84. They also include the round trip transportation that you can add, but that doesn't come at a discount. That pricing is the same. Okay, let's take a look at Hawaii Nautical for that whale watch. Whale watching is available December through March. So I'm going to pick a December date and we're going to pick morning. And the pricing here, we're going to have 3 adults and 1 child. And you can see that total is $419.24. By comparison, let's look at MWR. So we're going to do the Hawaii Nautical Morning Whale Watch Tour. So the same thing for the 3 adults is $88 and then $58 for our 1 child. So our grand total is $322. By purchasing through MWR, these whale watch tickets save you $97. Pearl Harbor is run by the National Park Service. I recommend that you start your planning at the National Park Service website for Pearl Harbor. They provide a lot of good information about what's available. The Visitor Center is free and does not require a reservation. However, if you want to go to the USS Arizona, you do require a dated and timed ticket for the shuttle. All you have to do is put in your date, how many tickets you need, and then pick your time. That is going to be the time that the shuttle departs. So I recommend you give lots of leeway for parking and getting into the visitors center. Tickets are released 8 weeks prior to the date and then 1 day prior to the date at 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. These tickets can and do sell out, so I recommend that you secure your tickets as soon as you know when you're going to be going. There is quite a bit to do at the visitor center, including some things that are at an additional cost, like their audio tour or their virtual reality experiences. So for many families, a trip to the Visitors Center and the Arizona Memorial may be sufficient. However, you may want to add a visit to the Battleship Missouri, the Aviation Museum, or the Submarine Museum. These are all independent sites not run by the National Park Service, but recreation.gov does have a ticket package available that includes the Aviation Museum and the Battleship Missouri. That ticket package does not include the Arizona Memorial, though. Just FYI. The Submarine Museum tickets can be purchased on their website, and they do offer a military discount if that's something you'd like to add as well. Or you can take a historical tour through MWR. They have one for Ford Island and also one on Hickam. If you have any interest in those, I do recommend you call the ticket office well in advance to get some details on dates and times that they do those. Your other option is to do a commercial tour. These are more expensive than doing a DIY, but could include things like transportation, a tour guide, or lunch. Please be sure, though, to check the details because they may not include the trip to the memorial and you may still have to get that ticket separately. MWR does have discounted tickets for some of those tours. Even if you're looking to do a more fully guided tour, you do have some options to save some money with MWR. Okay, let's take a look at Rainbow Helicopter Tours. It is one of the vendors that is on the MWR website. And we see here that they have a Royal Crown of Oahu package. It's got great reviews. We have not taken this, so I can't speak to it personally. It is $440 per person. So if I book this with 4 guests, and I'll just pick a date sometime in the future, we'll say 10 a.m. We are not going to make this a private tour so we can make sure it's apples to apples. And let's continue here. So our total is going to be $1,760. Let's see if that's true after taxes. Yeah, that's a subtotal. The total with taxes is $1,865.60. Now let's take a look at what you can get it for going through MWR. And you can see that the cost through MWR is $380 a person. The total, if you went through MWR, is $1,520. That saved our imaginary family $346. Now, we've hit everything on the bucket list, so let's see what our totals are. We paid $636 for the Hilton Hawaiian and $308 for the Halikoa luau. At the Polynesian, it would be $559, and at MWR, it was $475. Whale watching, we saw $419, and then $322 at MWR. Pearl Harbor was $4 either way because we got those recreation.gov tickets. And the helicopter ride was $1,866 compared to $1,520 for grand totals of $3,484 and $2,629, saving us $855. Okay, let's see how much money we can save on accommodations. We will assume that they are spending 6 nights on the island of Oahu. For today's purposes, I'm going to compare the Hilton Hawaiian Village, which is right next door to the Halikoa, which is the military resort. So let's take a look at the Hilton and see what it would cost for us to stay there during spring break 2026. Okay, I'm at the Hilton website and we are going to price out this room for 2 adults, 2 kids, for April 12th to 18th, 2026, because that's our spring break. We're going to do the resort view 2 queen beds. I'm going to pick the semi-flexible rate because it compares to the Halikoa. And I am going to assume that you're a Hilton Honors member, which does save you about $7 a day. So for the total, our cost is going to be $2,821.77. That does include that resort fee. It does not include parking, however. The Hilton Hawaiian Resort charge does include Wi-Fi for up to 2 devices, outdoor fitness classes, a movie night on Wednesdays, some cultural activities, DVD movie use, and some discounts. The Halikoa does not offer the cultural activities or movie night or the outdoor fitness classes. They do have free Wi-Fi, and to my knowledge, there's not a limit on devices. Self-parking at the Hilton Hawaiian is $72.25 per night. Okay, let's take a look at the Halikoa. We're going to have the same dates as the Hilton Hawaiian, April 12th to 18th. You'll have to confirm that you're eligible to stay there, so check those eligibility requirements before moving forward. We're going to put in our guests, 2 adults, 2 kids. In just a minute, as we're looking at the rooms, you'll see that there are multiple categories based on your status. So that's going to impact your pricing. We've picked the same dates. And now we're going to pick a room. For this, we're going to do the partial ocean view room. And we're going to assume you're a category 2 because that's kind of middle of the road. If you're sponsoring any rooms, just take note that all of the sponsored rooms will be category 3. So our grand total for this family is $1,674. You're not paying taxes and fees, so that's an out-the-door price. And at the Halikoa, parking is $22 per day. So if we add in accommodations, the total for the Hilton plus the retail prices is $6,736. And with the Halikoa and MWR, it's $4,435. That saves $2,301. That is a lot of shave ice. While Hawaii isn't the cheapest vacation destination, for those that are eligible, taking advantage of things such as MWR can really make a dent in the bottom line. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm will share it with others. Thanks again for watching. This is Kathy from Vets on Vacay.